Yo, what's going on guys, it's Cynical and welcome back to another video. Today for you guys, we're going to be taking a look at some incredible Kingdom Hearts history, some of the very first. A big thanks to the 13th Vessel for doing some absolute profits work in regards to preserving and uncovering the original Kingdom Hearts E3 2001 press kit. The press kit is something that contains information and material about a certain game. In this case, of course, Kingdom Hearts. This was handed out to all of the media and journalists during the time of E3 2001. This basically contains like the original synopsis towards Kingdom Hearts, as well as that also containing some beta images of the game from the actual beta build. As we know, there is a beta trailer that exists out there on YouTube. In the past, I have done an analysis towards that beta trailer, so if you guys want to look further into the beta of Kingdom Hearts 1, I will leave that video link in the description down below. The images that are contained in this press kit show us different images from that trailer, but what is really neat is the quality of that trailer that can be found on YouTube is extremely low, bad resolution. What we have here in regards to the images is the original source quality and resolution, so we can finally see some of these screens in half-watt, semi-watt decent looking quality. And not only that, but we finally have that original Kingdom Hearts logo in glorious high definition. My god, it is a sight to behold. I have to say that I'm very grateful that Square Enix decided to have second thoughts on the logo, having that awesome looking font across both Kingdom and Hearts, as well as including the heart in the background behind the text, is nice. I feel like it does more justice to what Kingdom Hearts is. Not that I despise that original logo or anything, but I think what we have right now is certainly miles better. Now in this video, we're going to be talking about all of the interesting stuff as we usually do, but for those of you who want to look through the entirety of the press kit for yourselves, I will leave the download link to the kit in the description down below. Again, massive shout out to the 13th Vessel. He's done some incredible feats here in the Kingdom Hearts community towards preservation of Kingdom Hearts history. I cannot stress this enough. Thank you so much, my dude. His channel link is also in the description down below. First things first, let's take a look at the original information sheet for Kingdom Hearts. This is basically the synopsis of the game, giving us a slight description, and reads, Kingdom Hearts is the first joint creative project between Square and Disney Interactive. This role-playing game combines classic Disney characters and worlds with the new, created in the renowned Square style. New Disney characters, developed by the legendary Tetsuya Nomura, best known for his creations in the breakthrough title Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII, will be introduced in Kingdom Hearts. 2 years in the making, with a production team of over 100 of Square and Disney's most creative talent, Kingdom Hearts fully exploits the technological possibilities of the PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system. In an epic tale of adventure, heroism, teamwork, and life's most important lessons, the lead character Sora, along with Goofy and Donald, embark upon action-packed adventure, fighting battles with memorable Disney villains and the newly created rogues, the Heartless. They must rescue their friends Riku and Kairi, all the while preventing the Heartless, creatures from an unknown dimension, who can change their form, from stealing the souls and hearts of others. The story will unfold as players travel through multiple 3D computer-generated worlds. Features include 4 new Disney characters make their debut in Kingdom Hearts: Sora, Riku, Kairi, and the Heartless. Further evidence that, yes, of course, any Kingdom Hearts character, the original characters, are in fact Disney characters, which is really weird to think. Like, if you think about, like, I don't know, the Xehanorts, Old Man Xehanort, Young Xehanort, Ansem, Xemnas, even like the Heartless and stuff, yeah, they are Disney characters. Super strange to think about. This is a Disney character. This is a Disney character. This, in fact, is a Disney character. This monstrosity is a Disney character! Kingdom Hearts marks the first time different Disney movie content has coexisted in one interactive product. Worlds and characters making appearances will include Jafar from Aladdin, Clayton from Tarzan, and Ursula from The Little Mermaid. I guess that was also one of the big drawing factors too. Of course, this whole like Square style being infused into that of Disney with different Final Fantasy cameos is really cool, but to also know that it was the first time that you could have Tarzan and, like, I don't know, Pinocchio in the same game. For Disney fans too, this was an absolute treat. Kingdom Hearts incorporates 9 Disney worlds, including Aladdin, Tarzan, Pinocchio, and The Little Mermaid. Goofy and Donald will change their appearances with different outfits by morphing into different versions of themselves and taking on aspects of the worlds they visit. Now, I quickly want to bring up the other page that talks about the story of Kingdom Hearts, mentioning the ages of both Sora and Riku. It says right here that it is the story of Sora, a 15-year-old boy whose world is turned upside down, and then goes on to mention that he has a best friend known as Riku, a 16-year-old boy, and doesn't mention Kairi's age, just mentions she's a young girl. Now, within the official Kingdom Hearts 1 manual, it does state Sora's age, which is in fact 14. You guys will be able to see it right there. Sora is 14, and also mentions that Riku is 15. So originally it seems like the ages of both Sora and Riku were meant to be 1 year older than what their finalized age is, 14, 15. I don't know why they decided to change this. Possibly the finalized ages of 14, 15 might better portray the behaviors that both Sora and Riku portray throughout the original Kingdom Hearts, rather than them being a year older. I know it's only a year difference, but when it comes to the teenage years, a year difference makes all the difference. We mentioned this just before, but on this page it mentions that Kingdom Hearts have been in development for more than 2 years. So yeah, it ended up taking just over 2 years of development for Kingdom Hearts to come to fruition, which is kind of interesting to think about, although you would assume that with releasing in 2002, this is of course back in 2001, halfway through the year, it's likely that Kingdom Hearts begun development at the beginning of 1999. It's a really neat promotional image with the original Kingdom Hearts logo at the top, with some information from the creator of the Final Fantasy series. Disney and Square joined forces, creating a new and unique entertainment experience for the PlayStation 2, coming winter 2001 in Japan, fall 2002 in US and Europe, with of course some beta images down below. So let's talk about the beta images. This is the first one right here of Sora, Donald, and Goofy standing in Traverse Town. Now, we did pick out some of these differences within the trailer, but again, it's really nice to be able to see these in a slightly better quality. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that Donald and Goofy do not have their Kingdom Hearts attires. In this beta version, they are wearing their original Disney outfits, even to the point of the character arts of Donald and Goofy containing the accessories of their original Disney outfits. So it looks like very close to the finalized build of Kingdom Hearts 1. Donald and Goofy were actually going to wear their original Disney attires before, of course, Square Enix had a change of mind and decided to give them their own Kingdom Hearts flair. Also, the heads-up display, there's like this sort of white outline around it rather than just the bold black outline. This, of course, was changed. An image of Sora within Disney Castle. Within gameplay, here is more evidence that, of course, Disney Castle was in fact going to be a playable world in the game. We've got Sora using fire against a soldier Heartless. Now, all of the different magic and spell effects were different for the beta version of Kingdom Hearts, and they ended up sort of refining these visual effects for the finalized version. You'll see more of that in my analysis video. But also too, within the magic command menu, it used to actually tell you how much MP a certain spell would cost. It also appears that the lighting of the beta version is slightly different. If we compare the exact same scene of the finalized version of Kingdom Hearts to this beta image, especially if you pay attention to these windows in this beta version, it looks like there is more of an illumination effect coming out of the windows. This possibly could be the image and video in itself, but I do believe that the actual lighting was different in this beta version, as the actual texture of the building's wall around the windows is completely lit up. Looking at the lamps too, there seems to be more of an illumination glow going on. Next up, we've got some images of the dark side fight. Now, this is really interesting. You get to see this actually in action within that beta trailer, but we do see a scene of Sora almost performing what looks like a Kingdom Hearts 2 reaction command against the Darkside Heartless, where it's almost like this in-game type cutscene that happens whilst in gameplay of Sora running up the arm of the Darkside Heartless to run up to the shoulder to reach the head to, of course, perform an attack. The command menu and the HUD and all that is still on screen, so it screams to me reaction command, and almost makes me think that possibly for that original Kingdom Hearts, they were maybe thinking about reaction commands. I did mention in my analysis video that this scene really could have just been to add some more flair to the trailer, but I honestly doubt it because it meant that the developers actually had to go ahead and fully animate this scene of Sora running up the Darkseid's arm. We've got a couple more images here of Donald and Goofy giving us a nice look at those classic attires in the game, as well as that, for whatever reason, yeah, the crate textures are different in this beta build. I also noticed towards Goofy too that his eyes seem to be a little bit different, and that Square Enix went back and redefined his eyes for that final version. We've got some images of the cutscene with Sora, Riku, and Kairi talking about the outside worlds. Now, one clear difference about this for this cutscene is that it's happening during daytime. This cutscene in the final version happens during sunset. And also too, the quality of the characters' faces is significantly lower for the lower poly versions of their faces. They look even worse and even more awkward. I mean, especially Sora's, his really does stick out a lot, as well as that Sora's hair color is slightly lighter too. At this point in development as well, in regards to the high poly faces, it just looks like they were not developed yet for the close-ups of the characters' faces during cutscenes. Now, these two images right here of Sora and Riku, you'll notice the purple skybox in the background. This is of course happening during that moment where Sora is on top of the last remnants of Destiny Islands, just before of course the world gets swallowed up by darkness and you have to fight the Darkseid one last time. Now, what's interesting about this is if we look at the beta trailer, there is actually a scene of Sora and Riku talking in this exact moment. Now, as we know, Riku leaves Destiny Islands and gets swallowed by darkness before Sora makes his way to this final chunk of the world to fight the Darkseid. So originally it looks like there was going to be one final interaction on top of this crumbling floating piece of the island between Sora and Riku. And the final scene that we saw within that beta trailer, but now we have a nice high quality-ish image, is Sora sealing what looks like the keyhole for the door in the secret place. This is a scene that was never added into the final game, but I do want to think that this is likely just for that trailer. Again, this really makes the low quality versions of these low poly faces stand out even furthermore. Like, Sora do be looking awkward. So that right there, guys, is all of the interesting stuff from the E3 2001 Kingdom Hearts press kit. Again, big thank you to the 13th Vessel for doing God's work. Some really interesting stuff and some cool history, especially before the big 20th event, which, by the way, is about exactly a week out. We are not too far off, hopefully, some goodness, fellas. But guys, with all that being said, share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I'm Cynical, hopefully you're having a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.